Glyph. Screech.
What's up? I figured I'd do another build video. I said I was gonna do one. I know it took me a while to drop this, but I wanted to make sure I had it right. You know, the last build video was pretty much for fun, something different. This video, this build is still fun, but it's more so on the you know, challenging part of the game. You know, none of that really play shit going on with this build here. The last build I dropped, you know, like I said, it was pretty much for fun, something different than what everybody else is doing. But today's build it's gonna be slightly different. I'm sure a lot of people are running something similar, but you know, this channel is basically focused on solo play 1vx. So yeah, man. I'll try to take some things I learned from the last build video. I was worried about if my voice was still gonna be recorded, because I would hate to do this and it don't record. But anyway, enough of my babbling. Let's get to the build. I want to start this video off a little different because a lot of people don't know. At one point I didn't know either, but your settings, dog. Your settings. Go to combat, go to options, go to combat, and do me a favor, turn all this stuff off. Even if you don't know what this stuff means, eventually you will. You need to learn it. It can help out. I'm not saying you need it, but this is a start, man. A lot of people nowadays, man, you guys, I ain't even gonna talk like that because I don't want to ridicule people, but a lot of people just put on these proc sets and troll and zerg, man. Let's get back to knowing what the hell we doing out here. So let's turn all our settings on, man. Turn all your daggone settings on and learn the damn game, man, please. So we can get back to the competitive nature that it once was. Me personally, I turned my assassination camera off, my screen shake that. I really had that down. I don't even know why that's up right now, but I always turn my sensitivity up, all the way up. Now, it used to be a problem where this caused lag, but I haven't experienced that lately. So, you know, I play my sensitivity all the way up, vibration off. Quick ground cast stability's on, and yeah, just go through your settings, but definitely turn everything on, because this is the start of goddamn, you know, playing with some skill, man. You know, this is the start right here. Turn your damn settings on so you can see what the hell you doing, bro, and don't just put on no proc sets and stuff like that, you know. So anyway, Now I ain't nobody to tell nobody how to play, but I mean, if you are curious to play competitively without indulging in the bullshit that they doing nowadays, you know, start with like I said, start with your settings, man. So you can understand, you know, the basics, man. You know, the debuffs, stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of people don't even know what this stuff is. But anyway, so let's get to the build itself. First thing we can start with, let's jump straight into the gear, man, because when I see guys' videos, I could do all the other stuff, tweak my own build. I'd be mostly worried about the gear my damn self. So let's jump straight into the gear. And I'm sure you guys know how to build your own builds, but Anyway, let's start off with the basics. Bread and butter, the obvious, clever alchemist. Right now for Necromancer, besides bombing, clearly, this is the best way to 1vx Dizzy Swing with Necromancer. Still old-fashioned play style, but with a little tweaks to perform, good against the stuff they got out there now. Clever Alchemist. Now, the big thing about this set is the double health right there. that's gonna help a lot in this new age meta, man. With with all the proc damage and dot damage coming at you. So on top of having all that damn damage coming from this set, we got those 2 health. That's really damn good. And it goes well with our Mythic. Again, another obvious, self-explanatory, Balorgs. If you don't know what this is, I'm gonna go ahead and explain it this time on this build. I'm gonna try to go more in depth, now that I know that my voice is gonna be recorded. So you start off with weapon damage as your first bonus, which is amazing. And also, you wanna stack your ultimate as high as possible before dropping this. The max ultimate you get from this is 500. Because save up a 500 alt, you drop that and get that 500 weapon damage. Now, let's do the math together. You get physical and spell penetration 23 times the amount. So let's say you stack up 500. 23. So that's 11,500 penetration. Now, we're gonna get into how to stack our pen later in the video, but let's stick to the basics. Now, the second set for this is Briarheart. Now, I did some testing. It's a whole bunch of other variety of sets out there that can help you stack damage, because that's what this build is focuses on, stacking as much damage as possible. I could actually get this build to 9k plus, but we'll talk about that later. But for right now, this build is stacking 81 to 85. Like I said, we'll get to that later in the video. But Briarheart, man, let's go over this set for anybody who don't know or don't remember. I'm not too fond of the bonuses on this set, but I mean, they are good. They're good. They ain't bad, but I would prefer them to be other things. But you get 2 critical chances, which is good, and you get some stamina, which is good. I mean, it's good, but like I said, I'm not big on it. But I am big on though is no, not the 450. Yes, that 450 extra damage you get for 10 seconds, if you could read right there, that is good. But this my thing. Like I said, it's a bunch of other sets out there that can give you damage. My whole thing was activating that damage. So yeah, you got other sets out there to where you don't have to activate the damage at all, but it's around the 300, the 361 range. This is one of the highest, if not the highest, I've seen. 450. 450. So, me personally, I'd rather go for the 450. Even though I have to proc it, I still would take the 450 over the set 360. Now, what I mean by that is sets like, Hunt and Rage, etc., etc. You don't really have to activate anything. You just have to wear it to get the 360. But for this set, you get like 100 more. So I'll take that. Now, the way you activate it is pretty much simple. You have to just simply deal crit damage. Now, if you're attacking the way you're supposed to be aggressive and attack, you're gonna do crit damage a lot. So this set is almost always proccing. We'll talk about that later in the video, because it's a way you have to proc this set and pop clever and hit your Balorgs or your Malakina to stack all this. So we'll stack all that later. Now, the critical strikes heal you for 240 health. Clearly that's mediocre. I don't really care about that. This effect occur every 15 seconds. We not really worrying about that. What we worrying about is that damage. You see, we get that damage for 10 seconds, but it procs every 15 seconds. So basically a 5-second cooldown. So that's pretty good, man. And on top of Clever being a 20-second, you get that for 20 seconds. So, and also Balorgs, you get that for 12 seconds. So the Balorgs and the Briarheart doesn't really last as long as I would want it to, but again, like I said, we'll proc those later in the video, and it's enough to get the job done. Basically, this build is bringing burst back. One trainee, of course, because we are rocking a mythic on this build. We are. Clever jewelry, all infused. The mythic here. However y'all want to say the Majesty ring, self-explanatory. You can read that. Just extra damage and extra armor. Now, me personally, I like wearing Depth Dealer feet because it gives you the extra stamina and magicka. It also gives you extra health, but for the most part, I like to keep my health around 35k. But the extra magic and extra stamina is great. But I did some testing. That's why it took me a while to make this video. And truth be told, man, I hate to freaking say it. And this is what I meant a lot of about being different. The last build I made, video I made, is different. This one, unfortunately, yes, a lot of people do use this ring, and I gotta admit, it took me a while to get this ring, but yeah, I guess you could say I folded as far as getting this ring. And I'm not gonna say this ring is great, because honestly, I could do without the 200 weapon damage, but the fact that it comes with that extra armor, they'll put us close to resistance cap is pretty good, man. That means we can focus on other things in our build. But it's either way, either one really works. Depth Dealer feet is really, really, really good for Stamcro right now. It's extremely good. I would say it's best in slot for Stamcro right now. But I'm rocking this ring right now. I'm on my Daedric wave, so shit. So anyway, this is the build. We could talk about little side notes. Like I said, we just went over one little side note there. To switch out Depth Dealer feet. You can also put on Malakath for a lot of extra damage, which in a second we're gonna proc that as well. Pale Order, if you want to be cringy. Wild Hunt also. I love this ring. This is my favorite. But I'm straying away from this speed stuff. And I'm moving closer to damage because it's getting rough out there for us right now, man. With all the procs going on. So I'd rather have damage and be tanky and burst you in the middle of your group. So now, obviously best in slot is Balorg, but I have did some testing and my Larkina stacks clearly, as you can see, 560. This will stack the most damage, but you won't have any penetration. But there's ways around that as well. We'll play with that as well. As you can see, it increased the cost of your abilities. We are Imperial on this, so we get 6 as an Imperial. We get 6% reduced cost for everything. So this set doesn't really offset us by much as an Imperial. You could go Zols if you want. I'm not really, I'm not really into that right now, so I don't need it. But yeah, I tried all these other sets, man. This is what we going for right here. Stacking this damage. This video is about what's best 1vx Stamcro right now. And what I have on the board right here on the screen, this is best in slot right now. I mean, this is getting the job done. Clever, Briarheart, Majesty ring, Balorgs. I'm not using any poisons for my offensive bar. Reason being is I want to stack more weapon damage. I am an Imperial. If you choose to be a Dark Elf or an Orc, clearly you don't have to worry about it. But I mean, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I've noticed that's best in slot for our heals and our damage, is stacking damage right now. So that's the wave I'm on. Like I said, this is getting it done. Now my back bar, escapist poisons. If you don't know, now you know. I mean, it's a very good mobilization. It's pretty much on point, man. I mean, you see it works off of light attacks, heavy attacks, bashes, anything you do to somebody, you know, you can proc this, and it's a good way to stun your opponents and get you out of stuns and whatever else extra. See, I got magic drain on this one, so this is really good against mag sorts trying to get away. This build is really good against mag sorts trying to get away as well. If you don't know, you know, we have beckoning armor that pulls them back as they do damage to you. So, you know, those pesky mag sorts or stealth blades trying to sneak you and hit you from a distance, they'll get pulled right back into you, but that's a whole nother thing. All right, let's get into the skills. Let's start with race. I am an Imperial. I said I was going Imperial next patch, and I did, and I love it. You know, I usually be on my Wood Elf wave, my Wood Elf swag, but Imperial is if you want to hang in there with them, you know, 1vx. You know, if you want to, let me just say it, if you want to be sweaty, go ahead and go Imperial, man. Go ahead and go Imperial. So I'm fucking with Imperial. I guess Nord would be good too, but right now I'm rocking with Imperial. We get that 2,000 health, 2,000 stamina, and we get, again, 6% reduced cost of all our abilities. So what this means, man, we have plenty of sustain, and we got a lot of health. We got a lot of health to take on the dots and the procs. And again, Imperial stats here stack very, very, very well with Death Dealer feat. I mean, almost hand in hand. And then also Imperial stacks very well with Gaze Assisted. So a lot of stuff to keep in mind. Alchemy, if you don't know, now you know. Now go get this. Rank up your alchemy to 50. On my crafter, I have all this ranked up, but on every tune I have, I make sure to rank up this just for this. When using potions, resulting effects last 30% longer. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. That's a no-brainer, man. Your potions could last longer, dog. Go ahead and get this so you can get one up on the competition, bro. I mean, it's not gonna be detrimental to your enemy. It's not gonna be something that make you a god, but shit. I mean, shit. Your potions last longer. All right, let's just go in order, and then we'll discuss later. I'm sorry, like I said, this video is going to be a bit longer, but right now, the build that we have now, we have to proc our damage. So with that being said, the damage numbers that you see is base right here. So we have blast bones. This did get a buff. As you can see, the cost of it is only 800 stamina. So keep that in mind. We are going with the stamina version for damage. You know, this stops them from healing completely, as you can read at the bottom of the screen. So you want to keep this up 100% uptime if possible. If you cannot keep this up 100% uptime, you want to keep this up at least 80, bro. What that mean is, even if you very, very low on stamina and you're about to die, you need to get one of these in. You need to keep this up. Now, this is what I mean. Besides, if you want this up at 100%, but sometimes you got to drop it to keeping this up 80% from healing yourself and, you know, being on your defense bar, which is fine. But again, man, don't be scared to get a blast bones in, even though you about to die, bro. All you gotta simply do, especially with this build, we stacking damage, which our heal's gonna be crazy. We're gonna proc that in a second. All you need to do is get one blast bones in before death. And we got an OP burst heal. They gave it to us, use it. This will get you back to 100% health with one tap of the button, bro. Well, close to it. But yeah, use your blast bones, man. Up to 80 to 100% of the time, bro. Always get one in, man. What this gonna do is it's gonna give that major defile. You want to keep look. It says only for 4 seconds. So, I mean, like, use some common sense here, man. That's why I said you want to keep it 80 to 100%, because it's only gonna last 4 seconds. So you want to make sure they're not healing. So even though it seemed like this is a mind game here. Even though it may look like they about to kill you, bro, you got them on the ropes. They the ones with major defile on them. You could easily get your health back up with you know, with your burst heal. You know, they're gonna be the ones suffering. So that's how you're gonna turn the fight around on them, by keeping this up. But anyway, as y'all know, Rally. Now, on top of Rally giving you your minor endurance, let's talk about this for a second. At the bottom of your screen, you heal for X amount of health. When Rally ends, the final heal is increased 15% every 1 second up to 300. What this means is the longer that you have your Rally active, if you hit it, you're gonna get all that health back. So it lasts for 20 seconds. So let's say you hit your Rally. You want to always switch from Rally to Vigor. Rally, Vigor, Rally, Vigor, Rally, and then Vigor. So when you hit your Rally, let's say you let that 20 seconds get down to 5 seconds. Once you hit that, especially once you pop your Clever, XYZ, your Balorgs, and your weapon damage is 8,000, the tooltip on this is going to be crazy high. Once you hit your Rally again, you're going to get a crazy burst heal that damn near put you back to 100% health. That is how you effectively use Rally. I mean, that's something that's old, man. That's some old stuff. But if you ain't know, you know. So basically, again, if you don't understand that, let your Rally linger and decide when you should hit it. If you spam Rally, you're not gonna get no heal from it. Read at the bottom of the screen. The final heal is increased every 1 second. So if you hit your Rally and then hit it again at 15 seconds, that's only 5 seconds worth of heal, bro. You're not gonna get much. So, but you may need it. So I mean, it's all up to you. But learn how to use your Rally. And this is a very good burst heal. Now this is very challenging, especially for people who coming from Magic. You guys are used to burst heals like this one, which we have here, which we're about to discuss. This is nothing like that, man. It's a whole nother ball game. This is called skill right here. No diss to any Magic people out there, because I started Magic myself. But if you don't know how to use Rally, man, ask for help. I'm sure somebody will show you. Now, Dizzy Swing. I gotta take a sip of water to talk about this. Trash. 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 A disgrace, man, what they did to Dizzy Swing. Trash, bro. They ruined Dizzy Swing, like, and that's a whole nother topic. That's like a 15-minute discussion. But Yeah, they completely ruined Dizzy Swing, man. Like I said, old Dizzy Swing, you know, you used to knock them in the air, and on their way down, you could drop a DB on them and execute a 3-tap. Sometimes even 2-tap. It used to be you hit your Dizzy, knock them in the air, then you hit them with an onslaught, and they out of here. But you know, the game has changed so much that the game has changed so much that that this is how you have to use Dizzy now. Now I should go to Gatwood right now so I can show the other morph of Dizzy. Basically, the other morph for Dizzy doesn't give all these effects. It only gives Major Berserk. Now I tried that too, but unfortunately, man, it's just Dizzy Swing is just nerfed right now, man. Dizzy Swing is not enough damage to. They tried to turn Dizzy Swing, well, they did turn Dizzy Swing into a spammable, and that's where they effed up at, man. They should have kept Dizzy Swing like it was. They should have kept Dizzy Swing nice and slow, but hit real hard to get that 1-shot off. But well, 2-tap, not 1-shot, 2-tap. But this is the game we have now. So if you want to try the Major Berserk version on it, it works very well for Warden. But it was all right, but this is better. So if you can read here, man, your first Dizzy Swing sets them off balance. Your second Dizzy Swing stuns them if they are off balance, and if they're not off balance, you know, you'll snare them for 40 seconds, for 40%. Listen, man, stop spamming Dizzy Swing, dog. I ain't gonna say back then, but before, you get a lot of burst kills from off balance, man. You get a lot of burst kills off balance, because when somebody is on their back, they can't defend themselves, and that's when you drop your DB or whatever you want to do to them. Utilize the off balance. It even tells you on the screen when your target is off balance, so you don't get confused. Now, you could do off balance a couple of ways. You could switch to your back bar, hit a light attack, hit to your back bar, hit a heavy attack, hit a light attack on your front bar. Or you can let the off balance linger a little bit and knock them down whenever you like. Utilize the off balance, get this 2-tap in, hit them with the execute, get them out of here for your next target. Execute. I use Executioner version of Reverse Slash because it does more damage. Personally, that's what I like doing. As you can see as well, look at the cost to all our moves, man. It's pretty low, 19, 100, 1500. You know, so we're not hurting. And all this is come from being an Imperial as well. So, like I said, plenty sustain. Bread and butter here. Your burst heal, self-explanatory. It does give you a minor defile, but we got so much weapon damage for this that's not a problem. This also grants you spell and physical resistance equal to half the amount healed. We'll talk about that in a second. This will get us at cap. Right now on this build, we're at 32,000 resistances. This should get us close, if not at cap. Dawnbreaker. Self-explanatory. Damage over time. You're stunned. All right, our back bar here. Now, this build may not have upfront penetration, but this is a way that we could get around that. Again, look at the cost, man. It's under 1,000. With puncture, we give a minor and major breach. So as you see, that's damn near. If you could do the math on that, man. You could do the math on that. 6K, let's say 3K, what, about 8 something K. So we lowering their resistance by 8K. So that makes up for us not having initial penetration. But we'll get to that in a second. Right now, unbuffed, I have a 20k heal on my vigor. Unbuffed. We could get this to 30, which we're about to do in a second. Minor resolve. This is something new that they gave you. Use it. Major resolve. It's a lot of ways to do it. I even looked into the equilateral to get my major resolve. But as you can see at the bottom, it reduces your healing done by 50. And when I say it reduces your healing done by 50, it literally reduces whatever tooltip healing that you have in half. So yeah, we're not doing that. But again, pulls in your ranged enemies. Major resolve also creates a corpse. We'll talk about that in a second. We got blast bones creating a corpse, and we have our spirit guardian creating a corpse. This is bread and butter for Necromancer, man. I mean, if I ain't saying you have to use this, but I mean, this is a bread and butter move. I mean, the heal is all right, but we're not really using this for the heal. While active, 10% of damage you take is transferred to the spirit instead. Ain't that a bitch? 10% of damage you take is transferred to the spirit. All you have to do is press the damn button. All you gotta do is press the damn button and you become, I ain't gonna say you become a tank, but shit. Now, with that being said, here in our living death tree, while you have any of your pets, your spirit mender, skeleton mage, blast bones, etc. Remember, I told you to keep your blast bones up 80 to 100%. If you want to use your skeleton mage, we're going to talk about that in a second, you can. But your spirit mender, this is why I'm saying keep it up. Look at that. You get 200 stamina and magic just by keeping this daggone thing up. And you get damn 10% damage reduction just by keeping this up. This, I ain't going to lie. If anybody had to complain about Necromancer, this move solely alone is enough to complain and cry about Necromancer. But this is pretty busted. Now, this move is Mortal Coil. I suggest you get used to using this move because this is getting a buff next patch. Well, they say it's a buff. I want to see it first, but again, we leave all our corpses on the ground. You pick it up. I have the version that gives me back resources, and while slotted, your healing done is increased. So I mean it's pretty good. It gives you a heal. The main thing about this is your cast time. It's instant and it don't cost no resources to use this. A free heal, they gave it to us. Let's use it, man. And the range is pretty far as well. So let's speak about this. This Mortal Coil is on the living death tree. When you use ability on the corpse, you gain 10% ultimate. This could occur every 16 seconds. This is really good and probably underrated. Mind you, it's every 16 seconds. So you could get confused and think you gotta spam it. No, it's every 16 seconds, but still, it's a way to get ultimate back. And as you know, here you can use Bitter Harvest, another way to get ultimate back. They also have the morph that gives you ultimate, but that's another video. If I talk about every damn skill, this video is gonna be too long. So because we have 2 living deaths on our back bar, let's go over the passives. While you have a negative effect on you, your healing done is increased by 8%. So as you see, that's not subjugated to anything. That's period. So I mean, that's pretty damn good. Now this is, while you have a living death ability slotted, your critical chance with healing abilities is increased by 20 in proportion to the severity of your wounds. We do have two on our back bar, so slotted. So we good on that. We are rocking a back bar beckoning armor. Let's talk about these. Whenever you are around an enemy, they die, you gain 6 magic stamina. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. Reduce damage taken from damage over time effects while you have basically your beckoning armor up. This is why I just said just go ahead and go with beckoning armor. There's other ways to get major resolve, but just go with beckoning armor so you can take advantage of these necromancer abilities like this one here. This is really damn good, especially nowadays. It's literally a damage over time meta going on right now. So this is, I ain't gonna say this makes a lot of difference, but it makes a lot of difference if you get what I'm saying. Like, it ain't gonna, don't think just because you got this on, you know, you're just gonna do what you want. No, but I mean, it helps a lot though. Take advantage of it. Increase your healing received by 2% for each bone type. Listen, bro, listen. Necromancer is underrated when it comes to heals. People low-key slick don't know that. I have been getting a lot of hate mail, people mad at me, calling me a healer because my healing is crazy. It's one thing in my champion tree that helps my healing, and I will go over that in a second. Increase your max health. You know, this stacked on with Imperial, Depth of the Feet, XYZ. Yeah. This how you get that 50k health if you wanted it. Alright, your Grave Lord abilities. Blast Bones, like I said. Now, Mental Siphon. You know, this is another way to get recovery. We'll talk about that in a second. So, basically, after your Blast Bones and your Ghost, your Back Bar, your Spirit Guardian, you know, once they die and go away, the next time you use one of your pets, it's reduced by 50. This is why I'm saying keep these up 80 to 100% of the time, because you're going to be able to, especially as an Imperial. Increase your critical strikes against enemies under 25% health for 10% for each Grave Lord slotted. I mean, the only reason I kind of stall right here because I'm trying to watch what I say. But we don't have a we don't have an execute. So this is why they gave us this. So I mean, thank you. But I would rather much you give us an execute, and we wouldn't have to worry about that. But you know, yeah. Increase your damage done with damage over time effects as a Necromancer, period. On this build, the only damage over time we really have is from Dawnbreaker, which is really good. So I mean, so I guess that works. Now, keep this in mind. This is very important because a lot of people is worried about penetration so much. Listen, bro, look, read this, read it. While a Grave Lord ability is active, your spell and physical penetration are increased by 1,500, bro. Do you get why I said keep your Blast Bones up 80 to 100% of the time now? Now, also, a good trick for this is you can keep a pet up, your archer up, and that will, the problem with archer is only for 20 seconds, which I can't stand, but for 20 seconds you will have that extra penetration. Very cool, man. Now let's talk about the archer. The archer needs a big buff. The archer is mediocre. I'm a daggone necromancer. You should be able to summon stuff as you please. You should be able to keep stuff out as long as you want. I love Goliath. I really do love Goliath. But you should be able to have the other morph of Goliath should be able to have this thing follow you for at least this 20 seconds. That's what that should be. That is necromancy, but this is what we got to deal with. Your archer only gonna last for 20 seconds. He shoots the closest enemy every 2 seconds. So you could do the math. He's only doing 10 seconds worth of damage. Each time the archer deals damage, his next attack will do 15% more. And he creates a corpse. So, I mean, all that is pretty, it sounds good in writing, but again, we're focused on, this will be decent in our last build, because our last build was pretty much get up in the person's face and start spinning. So that means your archer has no choice but to shoot the person in front of you. We're going a little more try hard with this build, and with that being said, man, it's literally 1vx, man. If you know what that means, it could be 1 versus 40, it could be 1 versus 30, it could be 1 versus 10, it could be even 1 versus 4. especially nowadays with this proc meta, these guys, they're gonna be extremely close to you. So what that means, your archer, you're gonna have a tough time getting your archer to shoot at the person you want it to hit. So, but I mean, it's pretty cool for role playing. But yeah. Again, we're not gonna talk about all these moves because this video will be way too long. So let's talk about what we're using now. Recovery issues. So I wouldn't say Necromancer is the best for recovery, but it's pretty good. Again, recap. We have our ghost. And so long as you keep your ghost up, you get 200 recovery. That's a given. Now, the morph of this one, Mortal Coil, you restore 170 magic and stamina every 2 seconds. Mind you, this lasts for 12 seconds. So every 2 seconds of 12 seconds is what, 6 seconds. For 6 seconds, you're getting 170, not for 6 seconds, but you know, over the course of 2 seconds. Again, another reason why I said I'm not too fond of this little system that they made here. But I mean, we have it, use it. Mystic Siphon. If you feel comfortable in finding a flex spot for your front bar, while slotted, your damage done is increased by 3. I mean, that's all right. This is also supposedly getting a buff, so let's keep that in mind for next patch because we might utilize this. But the damage is pretty much mediocre. I mean, nobody, let's read this crap. So the range is far, which is good. No, the cast time is instant, costs no resources, again, which is good. And it lasts for a long ass time, 20 seconds. And the range is far, and the radius is pretty good. But let's read this. Let's read this shit. Violently drain the last spark of life from a corpse, dealing XYZ amount of damage over 20 seconds. I mean, so the damage relatively sounds good, but let's continue to read this shit. To all enemies around the corpse and between you and the corpse. So I know you guys, you other necromancers, let's just hold in. We probably all got the same personality. So let's all hold in our anger together. And let's just talk about this as adults, right? Who the fuck is gonna sit there? Who is gonna sit in the fucking corpse and just take the damage? Maybe a noob, maybe an idiot, but for the most part, nobody is gonna sit in this shit. This is PvE right here. This is PvE. This ain't even PvE. It's PvE. But the problem is the bottom part. Our damage and our recovery. If we wanted to utilize it, this would be the only reason we utilize. Nobody's gonna sit in that goddamn corpse. Okay, so nobody's gonna sit in the corpse. Yeah, okay, they realized that. So now they said they added between you and the corpse. All right, fine. So the asshole won't sit in my corpse. I sent them multiple text messages, whispers. I even inboxed them on the PSN, and I asked them, "Hey man, can you sit in my corpse so I can do some damage to you?" Okay, he told me to fuck myself, right? All right. So what I'm gonna do? I'm going to somehow get him to get in between me and my corpse. You see it at the bottom of it. It says "and between you and the corpse." All right, so I'm gonna get this asshole in between me and the corpse, right? I had to send him another whisper and say, "Hey man, can you just stay still for a little bit, man, and sit so I could do some damage to you?" He told me again. He said, "Go fuck myself," making me feel like a complete asshole for even using this move in the first place. All right, fellow Necromancer mains, we could take our deep breath now. We got that out of our system. But let's talk about what we were talking about anyway, recoveries. You also gain 150 magic and stamina recovery while siphoning the corpse. All right, let's talk about our third way to get resources back. Hopefully I have the morph. Usually I use expunge. One of the morphs is you basically remove more negative effects, which I usually use that move, but I'm glad. So this is another way you could get some resources back. we're in the dot meta, so they always applying dots. So you can press this button again, cast time instance. You can press this button at any time because they always gonna dot you up. In doing so, you restore 500 measly magic and stamina for each negative effect move. While slotted, reduces the cost of your abilities. Again, where stacks very good with Imperial. So these are measly numbers, but if you run them all on your bar, you know, look at that. You get 500 back on this one. You get 170 every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. And, you know, while siphoning, you get a little bit of 150 extra magic and stamina. The only way this is gonna work if you have all these moves on your bar. So if you want to fit that in, you know, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, it's worth it if you can fit it on your bar, but for the most part, this is what we're working with for this build. Onslaught. This is another way to get your penetration. This attack ignores your target's resistance, and you gain physical and spell penetration equal to the damage. We're gonna stack this in a second, but let's finish here. Things that you might have. If you want extra crit, you can put on Camouflage Hunter. Again, if you know how to use your rally, I'm not gonna say you don't need it, but you kind of don't need your magic burst here, because we're in a new era that it's like a hybrid era. Before, it was unheard of. I can say unheard of, but you wouldn't really use magic on a stamina build. But now you can. So basically, before you know, you would have Camouflage Hunter. If you want to still rock like that, you could. A lot of extra damage. You know, you guys already, you should know your you know, increased damage just by having this stuff slotted. XYZ in the third. Now, I personally, again, I don't care for running away on this build. If you want, this build is really focused on healing and damage, but if you want, you can find a flex spot to put your race against time on, or again, down here, your charging maneuver, minor and major expedition. So that's where you can get some speed and yeah, this is pretty much what we're rocking with here. Now, let's speak about the bread and butter of defense on this build. Fucking one-handed shield. It don't matter what patch they throw at us, as long as we got our goddamn one-handed shield, man, we can survive, bro. We good. Now, I love Master Bow. Again, that's another video. I used that on the last build, but for this build, we not playing with their ass. All type of mitigation passive down here. Self-explanatory. Now, on this build, if you want to go more the defensive route, you could take off your minor and major breach, and you could put on absorb missile, which helps a lot. Not only does it heal you when you get a hard hitting projectile, but it gives you a pretty good damage shield. So you can utilize that. Me personally, you see that costs 3,000 stamina, so that takes up a lot of stamina, and I'd rather not use it. But this probably would be something you use if you had to, let's say, had some issues with maybe a mag sork or something. But yeah, bread and butter. I mean bread and butter. It's no way we could finish this video without talking about this shield wall, specifically spell wall. You know, basically you automatically, by active, it only costs 127 ultimate, first of all. It lasts 7 seconds, which is plenty of enough time for us to get our health all the way back to 100 and our resources back. But you can also use this as an offensive ability. So let's say you got a ranged player, you know, he stacked damage. I mean, all he stacked just more or more damage than we stacked. You hit this and you block all attacks. You reflect all their attacks back at them for 7 seconds. Now, we all know, man, we all know you got those guys, those ADHD fingered individuals that they tapping every damn move on their bar at you, right? They're really trying to get you, especially when they zerging you. They really think they got you. They, especially now with the new kill feed, they want to get in the kill feed bad. This is where you hit this. Everything they do gonna send right back at them. It's probably not gonna be enough to finish them, but this is why I said you could use this offensively. If you have your freaking blast bones up at 100%, like I said, you got incoming damage coming at them at all times. You know, as you're running towards the guy who still for some reason think he's gonna kill you, because now let's speak about this before we move forward. An old school tactic, man. I'm sure there's some sayings behind this, but I don't know it. But you want to play weak, even though you're not weak. So if that means if you gotta let somebody get if you gotta let the person get you low for them to think that they got you, that's very useful in a lot of these playstyles, especially when we on the build to where we could go from 0 health to 100. I mean, not 0, but 1 health to 100% health with damn near a few taps of the button. Yeah, they not effing with us, dog. So let the man think or the girl think that they getting you low. Hit your spell wall, send all that crap back at them, run up on them, and finish them. And you can do this all while a Zerg is hitting you, because mind you, it's reflecting everything that the Zerg is flying at you. It's reflecting all of that crap. So you could last for 7 seconds. And after your 7 seconds, hopefully you were skilled enough to get your target up out of here, hit your burst heal, do a couple roll dodges, and get the hell on. Oh, that was a lot, man. That was a lot. So I don't want to miss anything on this video. For my veterans who already know what the hell going on, I showed you. That's why I showed you the gear at the beginning, because you up out of this video by now. You done seen what you needed to see. But this is for people who really struggling with this class. This class is still goated, man. So let's go ahead and proc a lot of this stuff. Let's go ahead and do this together. Let's start off with the basics. Unbuffed, we have 51. As you can see, we got 51. Now again, you see the penetration is low, the stam recovery is low. Well, watch this. Let's hit this. Boom. Now we got 13. You see that's still pretty low, right? We only got the 13 because of this. So don't forget. You can go ahead and read that. That gave us our extra 200. But watch this. Remember, Rally gives us minor endurance. So we went from 11 to 13 to 15. Now, also, as you can see, our weapon damage went up to 61 in the press of a button. You see how I dropped again? This is why I said keep it up. Our recoveries went right back to where it is. You see how we got plenty of health on this build, a lot of stamina, and a lot of magic. Before we finish, let's speak about this, man. Sword and board, the shield actually counts as apparel. So you can actually sneak in enchant. So this is why your back bar stats, you know, could be a little bit higher than your front bar, if you know, depending on what glyph you put in. Let's proc this penetration, because I know a lot of y'all are eyeballing my penetration right now. So let's go ahead and activate our blast bones. As you can see how it went up? Now, you see it went away pretty quick because he's dead. And let's do it from quite a distance to see what happens. And that's what I mean by that. When he dies, your penetration goes back down. But tricks and tips, man, I'm a veteran at this. Listen to me, bro. Look, boom. Now watch this. Look, We only got 700 penetration, right? Well, guess what? Boom. Now, our skeleton is under the Gravelord tree as well. So, you know, he would count as far as giving you penetration. Excuse me, y'all. Seems like you only get 6 hour for the voice recording. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this and start another one. For you guys, it's only gonna look like a split second. But for me, let me go ahead and reset this. All right, back where we left off. Again, we only have 700 penetration, which is low, and I know you guys are eyeballing it. So boom. This only lasts for 20 seconds, but for 20 whole seconds, you get that extra penetration, as you can see. Now, that's not the only penetration that we have, but we're gonna stack that in a second. And let's do our testing here, man. So we wanna focus on damage right now. Let's go ahead and proc up. As you can see, the spell resistance and physical resistance and crit is pretty high on our front bar. But let's go ahead and buff up. 27 front bar. We are tanky with this build, bro. All thanks to our ring that we just farmed today. Now, back bar, like I said, we'll be close to cap on back bar. Just under cap by 700, but again, like I said, your burst heal, it gives, at the bottom of the screen there, it gives you spell and physical resistance. But it's only 3 seconds, but I mean, you got the Zerg on you, constantly getting you low, so you know, you're constantly proccing this, so you'll be at cap, or should be at cap, or over, a lot over cap. So all right, let's go ahead and let's get some alt, man. You know, again, recap ways to get alt. So let's go ahead and stack alt. After we do our testing, all right, Necromancer is pretty good at getting alt back. Obviously, you'll get it faster when you actually in combat using your variety of moves, but yeah. So again, to practice Clever Alchemist back bar. So don't hit your potion on your front bar. Don't get nervous out there. You know, make sure you're on your back bar, proc it clever. But to proc Briarheart, you got to deal crit. Since Briarheart, look, Briarheart lasts for 10 seconds. Balorg lasts for 12. Clever lasts for 20. So with that being said, we want to go ahead and proc the least one first. And after that proc, we can work off of the other. So right now, let's just focus on, you know, stacking our damage. Now, I'm glad it didn't proc right there. This is why I said, go to your settings, go to combat and turn all of your effects on. Reason being, if you can see right above my health bar is all of my information that I need. What it's gonna look like is a little skull. And I guess we'll go over that in a second. Let's just go ahead and buff up first. Hit your endurance. Make sure you hit your vitality, major vitality. All right, there we go. Pop our clever. Hit our Balorg. 82 weapon damage. Our blast bones are now hitting for 18, 13, 19. All right. So I know I went through that pretty fast. You can go back and pause. But what happened was We went up, shot up to 82. Damn, that's damn near 2,000. We went up to 82 weapon damage, and our blast bones was at 18. Dawnbreaker at 19. And Dizzy Swing again, not really. Size. So I'm gonna go ahead and buff up again, and we can show the healing portion of it. As you can see, it's pretty fast. It goes by pretty fast, but it goes by pretty fast. So that's why I say it's a specific way you gotta proc it. You wanna proc Briarheart first. So again, I speed up this part. So I already did my testing. I think after 7 seconds, if you reset your beckoning armor and your ghost, they should drop. See, it's at 4 seconds. I'm gonna hit it again. See how it dropped and created a corpse. You see how I drop and created a corpse. Then see if I do it again, it won't drop. But keep that in mind. This is a veteran tactic. Anyway, let's go ahead and so we already established on this build we are at 8200 weapon damage. So let's go ahead and check out the heal. Let's proc that. So keep your major berserk up. All right, proc. All right, let's go ahead and check it. Our heals. 20k burst heal, 24 and 29 bigger. So as you see there, we got 35k health on this build. You just seen that our burst heal was at 20k. And mind you, go back to your live and death passive abilities. While you have a living death ability slotted, you get some critical heal strike chance up to 20%. You know, I mean, that stacks perfectly. I mean, you're gonna get a crazy burst heal out of this build. So let's go ahead and talk about side routes to maximize our damage. Obviously, for one, it's changing your race completely. Either going Khajiit, Dark Elf, or Orc. I would suggest Orc, but you could also go Khajiit, the crit route. But if you want to get that 9k, possibly 10k, you want to go Orc. But let's talk about what we know. We could switch Balorg for Malakina. Oh, mind you, we are in all medium, besides our one trainee in our monster set, but it works out pretty good. Medium is how we get that burst heal. If you don't know what medium does on your own time, now in this video, go over your, make sure you read your armor abilities. Y'all should be grown. If not grown, y'all should be capable enough to do it yourself. So don't get on my head for not. Alright, this video already long as hell. I'm gonna put my Malakina on, and also to add some insult to injury. And I guess you could. Oh, I never tried this to do it with this, but we want to go ahead and put our Malachite band on. So weapon damage dropped a little bit, but go ahead and hit our major berserk. A tooltip for everything went up a bit. So see now, we went from 20 to 22k bigger. And let's check these tooltips. I'm gonna go ahead and speed this video up. Because we're gonna have to do this 2 times. We're gonna do it the first time to check the damage, and we're gonna double back on the second time to check the healing. We might need to do this 3 times, but Let's see if we can all get it in at once. All right. All right, man, let's go ahead and go ahead and proc up. $74, but now let's check our damage. 19, 21. All right, let's check our heals. So the oh guys, I didn't proc Malakina, man. Oh, I'm starting to get a little tired here. I know that's not what the person on the other end want to hear, but I'll go to speed all this up. All right, very quickly, Malakina, you only have to hit 2 consecutive light attacks. Now, the way we're gonna proc Malakina here is straightforward. We're gonna hit our light attacks, but when you're in the field, that's why you wanna this is why you want to light attack weave, light attack after every dizzy swing, then you'll have that up pretty good. So let's go ahead and proc that. It's pretty much the same as the other, but this time we're gonna get our Malakina in. All right, switch, Malakina. 81, 20K. So like the last setup we had, it gave us slightly 100 higher, but as you can see, the tooltip for Blast Bones was at 20K because of Malakath. You get that raw damage. So now that we see that, let's go ahead and check out our tooltips, man. Hopefully we can run through all of them, because we're not gonna check the stat sheet. All right, because we proc Malakina has a 6-second cooldown, so let's go ahead and discuss before we get started. We're only gonna be taking a look at our stat sheet, so you guys can pause the video, and this will be my max stats that I could get on Imperial. So if you want to switch races, you can, but this right here will be the highest it gets. Let's go ahead and effectively proc everything. $22, $20, $23. Oh, it went away pretty fast. It went away pretty fast. But as you see, we had 22K Blast Bones on the tip. We gotta do it again, because we gotta see the hills. See, Malakina only lasts for 6 seconds, but don't get discouraged. This is because we're testing. If I didn't have to test, I got it back again. See how I just got it back? See how I just got it back? So that's only because we tested. So I'm a little slow right there. All right, let's go ahead and plot this crap. I feel like I'm do I get everything all right? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh no, everything should be on there. Yep. Ooh, 21. Ooh, ooh. Now, you could go back. I'm gonna go back and screenshot that myself because that is crazy. As you can see, we just 33K bigger. I mean, the hills is there, dog. I'm gonna go back and screenshot that my goddamn self. Let's go ahead and buff up one more time and check the damage. Then we'll be done with this. I just noticed we got a 33K tooltip on Vigor. That's because our weapon enchant must have procced as well. So, yeah, man, as you can see, man, the numbers is high as hell, bro. I mean, I keep running them. I'm running them. The numbers is high, man. We hitting 20K on everything. We're hitting over 20K on our blast bones, 20K on Dawnbreaker, over 20K on burst heals, 30K vigors, over 20K. We at 20K now. 20K mortal coils. I mean, what more do you want to see from this build? We had 3 freaking K based on our ghost, dog. It's crazy. But as you can see, man, I mean, the stats is outrageous. Check damage, 21, 16, 23. So we got 16K dizzies. What was it, 21? You know, if I glyph proc, it was 23K blast bones, over 20. I mean, it's there. I mean, look, I'm not even procced up and I got 20K on my tool tip. So, damage is there. There's all type of ways to get damage. I'm tired as hell. I know this video a little raw. I'm not as professional as your other YouTubers, but I did it. And put my build back on. I probably just go to the damn thing. But as you can see, that was another route. Now and again, but if you decide to take that route, mind you, you only got 700 penetration until you hit your blast bones. But oh shoot. We got one more test to do. One more test to do. If you guys worried about penetration, let's go ahead and buff up. You could do this on either build, the Malachite crap we just did, whatever, but let's go ahead and do this. So, tooltip with Dawnbreaker, 61K weapon damage. If we remove Dawnbreaker for Onslaught, we drop to 59. But we're doing this for all my people who worrying about that daggone penetration. So let's daggone fully buff up. Fully prod, fully buffed up. There you go. And there you go. Right there. As you can see, you can play that back. What was that? 40k, up to 40k penetration, 8k weapon damage. That 19k recovery. Also, we're using Alliance. So I mean, the stats is there, as you can see. You know, so how long do you have 40k? 40k penetration. Let's check that together. It says for 5 seconds. But also, don't forget about your Balorgs. 12 seconds. So five of your 12 seconds, you'll be at 40k penetration. For the remainder, you'll still be over 30 for the remainder of 12 seconds. So that's for everybody who is eyeballing that penetration stat, on top of keeping your blast bones up. So I hope this video went good. We're gonna close it by discussing pretty much the stuff you're gonna figure out on your own. But I use Artan broth for this build. You can use smoked bear, but I use Artan for this build specifically. My potions that I use now, don't sleep on these potions, clearly a detect pots. I switched, as you can tell, I got all these damn stacks of immovability. I don't use these anymore. For my immovable now, I switched to this, the Alliance potions, because it costs AP, so that saves me a lot of money. And also, you know, you can go invisible on top of that. So I mean, shit. Right. And then my main spammable potion now is, because this costs AP, so you know that's basically free 99. I just get my stamina back. I get my major vitality, even though I already gonna have it up, and I get my major endurance on top of that. And we all know trash stat. I only use this in case of emergencies. As you could just saw, we got 20k on every tooltip, 30k vigors, man. So we really not gonna be in no emergency. If you pop your spell wall how you supposed to, it's really not gonna be an emergency. Plenty of sustain as Imperial, as you can see. As you can see, the stand recovery 15k, pop your major 19. I mean, you're not lacking anything. You're not lacking anything. And to close this video out, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the my champion setup, man. You guys could set the champion up however you want to, but this is the way I set my champion up. So let's start off with the green tree, just to get this out the way. The only real important thing in this green tree is movement speed. I said this countless times on this channel. They give you shit, use it. Unfortunately, I don't like stuff like this. This is the reason the game is the way it is. You got a bunch of people that got this movement speed and using it to like troll, zerg you down, run away. A lot of people don't deserve this. They're, but it is what it is. Use it. I mean, so what this means is these people, they will run away from you even though they have a Zerg with them. They'll still run away from you, which could be very annoying, but this is part of the reason here. And for Cyrodiil, traveling could be kind of tedious, so mount speed and mount stamina, but not really important. Let's go ahead and get into this tree. Now, again, if we talk about this, we could talk about this for hours. But let's stick with what we got going on. Max health, max armor, and as we all know, Necromancer is kind of, I ain't gonna say, it kind of is lacking sustain, but we made up for that by being Imperial, XYZ in the third. But I still want to add insult to injury, and I get this little 90 here. You know, you could get 150. But you have to have a negative effect on you. Now, again, another given, man, movement speed here and hasty, but below that, you got more movement speed, more givens, man. This is why a lot of people are fast for no reason. They're not even built to being fast. Hell, I don't even have any major expedition on my bar, but if I put this on, I'll be fast. So if you want to, me personally, I'm not trying to run away right now. So I got my major protection whenever I get stunned or feared. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Major protection, all basic stats. This is where things get a little more advanced. Let's stick with the obvious, weapon damage, more weapon damage. You can find a way to get more stamina here if you're lacking, but shouldn't need it if you put the build on that I have now. This is a bread and butter right here. You don't have to use this because we have Mark of Majesty, but 1900 extra resistance was really good. 600 extra crit resistance, which is all right. I mean, it's gonna keep them night blades off you, and here, this is controversial here, but this is what I use. Healing done for single target heals. This is how I stack my burst heal up so high. This will get you to 100 from one in a few taps of the button here. Or, as you can see, I sacrificed some resistances and I put on some healing over time. That's how I got my 33k vigor tooltip. You can easily not use this, but you'll still have 30k vigor tooltip. So either way, now, if you wanted to say bump all this healing crap, I should charge for this information, but as you can see here, whenever you heal yourself below 25% health, you get a damage shield. Yeah, every 30 seconds. Okay, well, you may say that looks low, right? If you read where it says current bonus, this also works in PvP. It's the same stats, 11,000 damage absorption. Which is very high, which is really good. But mind you, it's every 30 seconds. So this is why I say you want to work on being a good player first, because 30 seconds is a long time. But yeah, this is the CP tree. Or if you want extra damage, you could take off your healing version. You could take off Bulwark because you got on Mark of Majesty. And if you want to get gutsy, you could take off your crit resistance. But mind you, night blades, man, once they get a smell of blood and see that they can slice through you, man, they're gonna be on you. So I suggest, if you take this route, taking all your defenses off, I suggest you put on some major expedition, and you can take advantage of these passives up here. Your direct damage and your area of effect. Really, mostly area of effect. Everything Necro do is area of effect. You could go Khajiit and switch to crit right here. With these two, you have to use both of these two to get that maxed out crit damage. And it's really good too. And again, for my penetration junkies who keep eyeballing my penetration, go ahead and put on Force of Nature. And if that concerns you that much. Off balance. Now, Exploiter, I used to love Exploiter, guys. I used to love Exploiter. But the truth be told, man, it's other CPs here that get the job done better than Exploiter right now. I guess Exploiter might work well on the Warden, but I just don't see the use in it. I hope I covered everything. I know this video long as hell. I'm tired as hell. Like I said, this is not a commentary channel. This is not one of those channels. You know, my gameplay straightforward. You know, all smoke, all beef. Like fuck, nigga, we out this bitch type shit. That's what my channel for. My channel is not really one of those commentary channels. But today, I you know, I was feeling pretty good about my build and pretty confident about it. And so I went ahead and shared it. I'm telling you, man, this build here, bro. This build here is this build here is it, man. This build is it, dog. I mean, this is best in slot for Necromancer. I personally feel like. I mean, you could debate me if you want. You could find a better way to tweak this, but right now, this is best in slot for me. One thing that we didn't do, though, we didn't show our depth dealer feet. Procked up with that. So let's go ahead and proc up depth dealer feet. Now, the way I have my character sheet set up is like this. I would change this around. But if I wanted to get the best out of my depth dealer feet, I would change that around. But this is an example of what's going to happen to us with depth dealer feet. Imagine we lost a bit of weapon damage, but still high. 58. So see, our weapon damage is constantly scaling with our set. So, constantly going up, constantly going down, but mostly going up. If you're on their ass like you're supposed to be. So, me personally, on depth dealer feet, I will rock 35k HP, and I will rock 31 stamina. But this is just an example of the difference. As you can see, our resistances is still pretty high. 30k, 24k. See how it dropped? Our resistances dropped. That's why I said Mark of Majesty is just best in slot. For my personal opinion, I would love depth of the feet, but I mean, Super 100 market, that Majesty ring is just where it's at right now, man. Because as you can see, I was still able to keep high resources with it. The Mark of Majesty ring on. Do a quick little recap, man. Base stats, front bar. Base stats, back bar. Support stats buffed up. Front bar. Back bar. And let's go ahead and proc our damage. Try to keep all the buffs up this time. There we go, front bar, back bar. And that's the build, man. Pretty goddamn solid. Best in slot for Necromancer. I mean, recap on what we rocking. Briarheart, Clever Alchemist, Balorgs, 1 trainee. I will put this in the description, and Mark of Majesty, man. Pretty goddamn solid build. I mean, top tier for Xing right now. Stamcro. We still holding our weight, man. We still holding our weight. High penetration. If you want to switch to onslaught, you can. But yeah, man. Pretty damn solid. Drip, man. Get y'all some drip, man, because you know the higher percent of this game is all about drip, man. Drip, drip, drip. Yeah, get y'all some style, get y'all some swag. I finally got my gold frames. I finally got my where it's at. My gold frames, man. I've been looking for. I've been waiting for them to put this in the game. Gold glasses, gold chains. I got my gold chains on. My gold glasses. I've been waiting for them to put this type of stuff in the game, man. I'm taking advantage of it, bro. But I got that ebony sword on the back bar. Get y'all some style, man, some swag, cause fuck playing, man. It's all about swag, shit. You know, don't you want to look cool after you whoop a motherfucker? Anyway, I'm just babbling, bro. Shit. But I hope y'all could find some use out of this build. The difference between this build video and the last build video. The last build video was based on fun. This is it right here, dog. This is it, man. If they don't nerf any of this, as you can see, man, we rocking 40k penetration, 8 to 9k weapon damage. I mean, the stats is out of this freaking world. 19 fucking recovery. I mean, 27 stamina. The magic could go a little higher, but you can put Depth Dealer feet on. 20, you know, look at the health. I mean, everything is there, man. Resistances. Pretty, is that cap? Basically, remember I told you have to hit your burst hill to get the cap. But yeah, man. Stamina Necromancer, dog, man, still active, dog. But yeah, man, good luck, man. Drop the nigga. Yeah.